Hello, my good Dharma friends. Today I'm going to talk to you about Chapter 2 of The Rabbit's Horn, a commentary on the Platform Sutra written by the Venerable Master Xing Yun. I thought I had finally found the rabbit's horn here, but as you can see, it's an antler, not a horn. Anyway, this topic, the Prajna, means wisdom, although the meaning is much more complex than this. On page 45 we're told that the Buddha taught about Prajna for 22 years. This was more than he taught about other sutras. On page 46 we are told that the Prajna chapter is the most important chapter of the Platform Sutra. Also, that even though the Platform Sutra itself was not spoken by the Buddha, it is still called a sutra because of its teachings about Prajna. So, no pressure, hey? Please excuse my own lack of understanding on this subject. It's quite a meaty topic, and I will do my best to explain it to you. One fun fact, though, is that the sutra is called the Platform Sutra because it refers to the podium on which a Buddhist teacher speaks. So, Prajna is an important topic, in fact, the most extensively covered topic. It is mentioned in 9,000 scrolls of the Tripitaka, and knowledge of Prajna is said to be a requirement for enlightenment. But what is Prajna? On the surface, Prajna means wisdom. But like many Buddhist terms, it is more than what can be described by one word. It has also been translated as insight, intuitive apprehension, knowledge, and understanding. So basically, Prajna is wisdom or insight into the true nature of reality. Primarily, this is the understanding that everything is impermanent, that mundane life is fundamentally unsatisfactory, that there is no unchanging permanent self, and that all things are intrinsically empty. So there are three types of prajna. The first is language, and so although words are not wisdom, they can guide us to wisdom. We can also use words to teach others about wisdom, and language can be thought of as a tool or vehicle to help us understand prajna. The second type is contemplation, contemplating the mind, body, and all phenomena and seeing them as empty. This means that although we see the world as concrete and discrete objects, it is actually empty. It is made up of causes, conditions, and effects. Everything depends on everything else. So, for example, more than half the atoms in your body have been formed beyond the Milky Way, travelling here by intergalactic winds driven by exploding stars. Also, every 16 days, 72% of your body is replaced, including 100% of the water. The water in your body has been in clouds, oceans, and other creatures since it existed. There is a 100% chance that thousands of the same atoms in your body were held by thousands of other humans. Furthermore, 30% of your body weight is not you, but bacteria, viruses, and parasites. There are 10 times more bacteria cells in your body than human cells. So we are more than what we think we are, and everything depends on everything else. So the third type of prajna is true reality, the essence of prajna that is beyond language and inherent to all sentient beings. This prajna is a complete understanding of the general and specific characteristics of all phenomena. This is the prajna of awakening, the elimination of illusion. It is a perfect, clear and reflective wisdom. Obviously, I have not obtained anywhere near this, and I don't want to cloud the issue with my own imperfect understanding, so I'll leave it there. However, it seems to me that these three prajna types are like steps on a ladder. Starting at 1, you move to 2 and then 3. So these concepts of dependent origin and emptiness are very important. Dependent origin is made up of causes, conditions, and effects. Causes make effects, and causes directly lead to phenomenon. But phenomena also depend on the necessary conditions being present. The conditions must be favourable for an effect to thrive. This is why you can grow a flower in your garden, but not at the bottom of the sea, on the moon, or in a volcano, no matter how many seeds you sow. Phenomena also arise within universal principles. If you plant melon seeds, you will grow melons. So this is my diagram of the law of cause and effect. Nothing can happen that goes against these principles of conditionality, and you can see that causes and effects happen within conditions, which also happen within principles. So the Buddha also taught that one is many and many is one. Everything is part of a greater whole. The atom, the universe, the galaxy, the solar system. This is an atom. This is a symbol of how galaxies rotate around each other. So you can see that on the microcosmic and macrocosmic scale, these things are the same. A difficult to understand concept is that afflictions are the same as body. We can see good and evil, but the Buddha taught that there is no duality. How I understand this is how value judgments like good, bad, beauty, ugliness, and right, wrong are often dependent on perspective. So, for example, very few adult humans would find a rhinoceros to be very attractive. However, to another rhinoceros, that particular rhino might be a supermodel. So therefore, beauty is really in the eye of the beholder. An example about good and bad is the folk hero Robin Hood. Robin Hood stole from the rich and gave to the poor. To the poor, he was a charitable benefactor, saving lives and easing suffering. To the merchants and nobility, he was a thief. In today's world, he might even be labelled a terrorist. Anyway, the most important thing to remember is that afflictions are like waves on the deep lake of body. Just as a lotus grows in a swamp, we can find body in affliction, but attachment to body can hinder our practice. And another way of looking about it is that obstacles can be a way for us to grow and become better than we are. Obstacles can become opportunities for growth. So the book continues talking about the three poisons. The three poisons are greed, which is the desire for what we like, anger, rejection or hatred of what we don't like, and ignorance, which is the confusion or misunderstanding about the universal principles behind all phenomena. And in The Journey to the West, greed is Pigsy, monkey is anger, and Sandy was ignorance. So the three poisons hinder our practice, and if we develop prajna, we can transform these poisons into the three cures. And the three cures are discipline, meditative concentration and wisdom. So this book also goes on to mention the Chan and the Diamond Sutra, as well as talking about how to let the mind be present without an abode. These are very advanced ideas, best left to someone more knowledgeable than me to explain. The text also mentions good Dharma friends. And by having compassion, wisdom, and the inclination to teach, we can be good Dharma friends to each other. A good Dharma friend could be someone who is righteous, virtuous, and able to lead others to follow the way. And there's no single right way to be a good Dharma friend. The book continues to talk about emptiness and existence. So basically we return to this idea of emptiness and existence on pages 63 and 64. This idea has that a house would not be a house if it did not have rooms. Similarly, a bucket or a cup would not exist without the void within it. And if you also want to think about it, the region between a nuclei in a molecule is almost all space or vacuum. So everything exists because of emptiness. Finally, we come to non-duality. By bringing extremes together, we can see that they are not actually different. Examples are given in the book, such as these here. So sudden and gradual schools of Buddhism, they both have the same destination. Delusion and awakening. The Dharma is not either of them, and is non-dual in nature. Ignorance and wisdom, even the most ignorant can learn from study. Good and bad, right and wrong are value judgments, as I mentioned before. Purity and defilement, and self and others. And Buddha and Mara. Mara was a demon, so I guess for me, in that it's like the same person can be enlightened in one moment or demonic in another moment, depending on their thoughts and actions in the context or circumstances that they find themselves. And then we have mundane and super mundane. These are really big ideas, and I think it's best to read the original text to understand all of its complexities. Okay, so page 49 tells us that each of us is our own pristine Buddha. We have only to awaken our intrinsic natures. I like the advice to not look outside for a spiritual attainment. You will only travel further away by doing that. And so that is very much the lesson for this book, is that the answers lie within us. The great teachers and the Buddha lies within us, and we don't have to be looking outside in the world for the answers to our problems. We can find it inside us. So hope you've liked this video, and if you've liked it or disliked it, just remember that we are all connected, and I haven't given this presentation, we have given this presentation. So if you've enjoyed it, please subscribe to the video below, and like us, and leave a comment if you've got any questions or would like to see more like this. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.